If you work as a manufacturing facilities engineer, installing a new piece of equipment can be as complex as the machinery itself. From prep work to alignment and testing, it's your team's job to put it all together. That's why it's good to have Grainger on your side. With industrial-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure you have everything you need close at hand through every step of the installation. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Drama on this Sunday with episodes of Frontier Gentlemen starring John Dehner and Suspense, both airing on 67 years ago today, June 1st, 1958. Also an episode of the FBI in Peace and War from 1955, The Hall of Fantasy from 1953, and The Telltale Heart. And Lum and Abner wrapping everything up with some old Eddard sayings. There you go. That's all coming up on this Sunday. This is the first day of June, 152nd day of the year, 213 days left in 2025. Your question of the day, who invented the jet engine? We'll tell you why, or why that's relevant today. A couple of states celebrating birthdays today. Kentucky became the 15th state of the Union in 1792. Tennessee became the 16th state of the Union in 1796. 1934, the Nissan Motor Company was founded. 1938, the first issue of Action Comics magazine was published, and that featured Superman.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman! The Adventures of Superman.
The serial came to radio as a syndicated show on New York City's WOR on February 12, 1940. On Mutual, it was broadcast from August 31st of 1942 to February 4th of 1949 as a 15-minute serial, running either 3 or 5 days a week. For 4 months in 1949, it ran as a 3 times a week half-hour show. Series shifted to ABC Saturday evenings on October 29, 1949, then returned to afternoons twice a week in June of 1950, continuing on ABC until March of 1951. In all, 2,088 original episodes of The Adventures of Superman aired on American radio, all starring the man who would later be known as the host of To Tell the Truth, Bud Collyer. 1958's General Charles de Gaulle became the Premier of France. Beatles released their groundbreaking Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album on this date in 1967. Beatles announced with the release of that album their intention to be seen as artists rather than just performers. Sgt. Pepper's often cited as the first concept album. It was on this date in 1980 the Cable News Network debuted.
Act upon one's convictions while others wait, to create a positive force in a world where cynics abound, to provide information to people when it wasn't available before, to offer those who want it a choice, For the American people whose thirst for understanding and a better life has made this venture possible. For the cable industry whose pioneering spirit caused this great step forward in communications. And for those employees of Turner Broadcasting whose total commitment to their company has brought us together today, I dedicate the news channel for America, the Cable News Network.
Ted Turner announcing the Cable News Network's debut on this date in 1980. 10 years later, 1990, George Herbert Walker Bush and Mikhail Gorbachev signed a treaty to end chemical weapon production. In 2004, Oklahoma State prosecutors sentenced Oklahoma City bombing co-conspirator Terry Nichols to 161 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. In 2009, General Motors filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the fourth largest U.S. bankruptcy in history. Conan O'Brien debuted as host of The Tonight Show on this date in 2009. He would step down just a few months later in January after a dispute with the network. In 2011, Space Shuttle Endeavour made its final landing after 25 flights. In 2022, 3 years ago today, a Virginia jury ruled in favor of Johnny Depp in his libel lawsuit against his ex-wife Amber Heard, vindicating his stance that Heard fabricated claims that she was abused by Heard and awarding him $15 million. But jurors also found in favor of Heard, who said she was defamed by Depp's lawyer when he called her abuse allegations a hoax, giving her $2 million. Heard said the anger and hate she faced during the trial was intense.
Even somebody who is sure I'm deserving of all this hate and vitriol, even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. You cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
Amber Heard on this date in 2022. Passing away on this date in history, the 15th President of the United States. Quick, who is it? Who is it? 15th President, James Buchanan. Also, Lizzie Borden, passing away on this date. Author, activist, Helen Keller. The Temptations, David Ruffin. A drummer, composer, producer, Tito Puente. Also, the cartoonist who created Dennis the Menace, Hank Ketchum, and the Brady Bunch's, Ann B. Davis. Oh, let's look at birthdays today. Brigham Young, Mormon church leader and Western settler, born on this date. Nelson Riddle, such wonderful music. His arrangements for Sinatra were amazing, and of course, who can forget Route 66? Wonderful music. Actor Andy Griffith. Very funny man, he was. Also actress Marilyn Monroe and the very funny Cleavon Little. All those folks born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
Charles Eugene Boone. We know him as Pat Boone, 91 years old today. Morgan Freeman is 88.
I ain't no child, Miss Daisy. And I ain't just some back of the neck you look at while you going wherever you got to go.
From the movie Driving Miss Daisy, Morgan Freeman is 88 today. From Knots Landing in Tabitha, Lisa Hartman is 69 years old today. Of course, Lisa Hartman Black, because she is married to Clint Black. Comedian actor from Hanging with Mr. Cooper, Mark Curry, 62 today. Model Heidi Klum is 50. Singer Alanis Morissette is 49. One half of Impact Wrestling's Beer Money, James Storm, is 46. Debbie on the Wild Thornberrys and part of the Halloween franchise, Danielle Harris, is 48. Amy Schumer is 44.
It's just strange. Grown men wearing jerseys with another man's name on it.
From the movie Trainwreck, Amy Schumer is 44. Comedian Nikki Glaser is 41. He was Spidey in Spider-Man Homecoming and Avengers Infinity War. Tom Holland, 29.
Look, when you can do the things that I can, but you don't, and then the bad things happen, they happen because of you.
Ooh, that was intense. Tom Holland, 29 today. And she was Primrose Everdeen in the Hunger Games. Willow Shields is 25. Those just a few of the people who celebrate the first day of June as their birthday. If this is your birthday.
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And we'll get started on this Sunday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, as we'll go back to Sunday, June 1st, 1958, in the afternoon shows, an episode of Frontier Gentlemen starring John Dehner. That is what we'll open with.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Fight communism by joining the Crusade for Freedom, the independent movement of the American people which supports Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia. These two freedom networks are shattering the isolation which the Kremlin has imposed on its slave states. As a private enterprise, Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Asia can hit hard. Exiles speak to their own countrymen, weakening the Reds' morale and authority. They identify informers, denounce brutality, ridicule and expose the falseness of the communist line. They spike the hate and lie campaign of the Soviets against the free world and spread news the communists would try to suppress. Religious and educational programs meet the spiritual and intellectual needs of its listeners. Broadcasts to youth tell the truth about communism and the free world. Help build more transmitters for Radio Free Europe and expand the operation of Radio Free Asia. Send your contribution to Crusade for Freedom, care of your local postmaster.
That's another interesting thing. Did you know that for a number of years, these were not federally funded? They were independently funded by the people of the U.S. I mean, yes, the state wanted them to be out there, but they didn't, they weren't part of appropriations. I still find that interesting. Okay, we're going to start up by going to 2:30 Eastern Time on Sunday afternoon, the first day of June, 1958, an episode of Frontier Gentlemen starring John Dehner. And this episode of the program is entitled Duel for a School Marm.
One of the prettiest women I've met in the West was very nearly the cause of violence and carnage. And to this day, I don't think she knows why.
Frontier Gentlemen. Herewith, an Englishman's account of life and death in the West. As a reporter for the London Times, he writes his colorful and unusual stories. But as a man with a gun, he lives and becomes a part of the violent years in the new territories. Now starring John Dehner, this is the story of J.B. Kendall, Frontier Gentlemen.
One of the first things I noticed in Laramie, Wyoming Territory, was the intense rivalry between that town and Cheyenne on the other side of the Laramie Mountains. One read the bitter attacks and counterattacks in the opposition newspapers. One heard it on the streets. At the time I arrived in Laramie, gold had been discovered in the mountains to the south, and there was great rejoicing in this fact, which threatened to eclipse Cheyenne's claim of superiority. In the interest of fair reporting, I decided to visit the mining area with the idea of making comparisons between it and that which I had seen in Montana Territory. It was about midday when I saw the sign by the side of the trail reading Rotten Head Gulch, and a few minutes after that when I arrived at a cluster of shacks which constituted said township. I noticed 3 men outside an edifice which bore the legend, Dirty Charlie's Saloon.
Look at there.
Good afternoon.
Howdy. Saloon's closed.
Oh?
Yeah, voting day.
Oh, I see.
You voted yet?
Well, no.
Buck, get out the voting paper.
Got it right here, Jim. Right here, mister.
I'm not a member of your community. Does that make a difference?
Well, you're a human man. That's all the difference we need. Hey, Shorty, get off from the table. Let the stranger sit comfortable like. All right, set, mister.
Oh. Well,
make your mark, or you can write it out proper if you know how.
One small point. What am I voting for? Or whom?
You're voting for the school marm. That's what and who.
Oh. And do I vote yes or no?
Well, you vote yes, mister. You vote no, you're liable to end up lying toes down. You ain't been sent by them no good Goose Creek boys, have you?
No, I've come from Laramie. Left there this morning.
That's all right, then.
Look here, it's not that I mind voting, but I'd like to know something about it.
Well, he told you, mister.
Shut your mouth, Shorty. Man's got a right to know. That's legal. Well, sir, now it's this way. We got a school marm in Rottenhead Gulch. A school district in Laramie give her, and we aim to keep her.
She's the prettiest thing you ever did see.
Shorty, I'm telling you now, hobble your lip.
Well, she is, ain't she, Buck? Oh, man, she is a cow bunny, and that's for sure.
Now, like I say, we aim to keep her, and ain't no Goose Creek coyote's going to get her. And that's how come to vote. Now, the school district says if Goose Creek gets more votes than Rottenhead Gulch, she's going to be sent there.
Ah, now I see.
So you vote yes.
But, is it legal?
Well, sure it's legal.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Look here, I'm in charge of voting. I say it's legal. Anybody comes this here town on voting day is a citizen of Rottenhead Gulch. Honorable like. Now, as mayor, I make you a citizen. Now you vote.
All right.
Hey, Buck, where at's the writing quill?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
We ain't had no voting since this morning. Guess maybe I left it in the saloon.
Well, go get it.
Sure, Jim.
You know, I'm rather surprised to find a school teacher out here. I mean, in a mining town as small as this. Are there many children?
Oh, shucks, mister. There ain't no kids around
Shorty,
here.
One of these here days, that leaky mouth of yourn is going to get you a case of slow.
Well, it's the truth, Jim.
A school teacher with no children to teach? Rather odd, isn't it?
Well, now, sir, ain't nothing odd about it. We aim to get us some kids as soon as we get us some women to marry up with and have the kids.
But how did the school district assign her here in the first place?
Well, ain't nobody asked to find out. They did, and she's here, and she's going to stay.
She's been learning us. There's 20 of us. Goes to school every night after work's done. Ain't that so, Jim?
Yet there's a fact, mister. Now, maybe we ain't kids, but ain't but 5 of us can read and write so as you could notice it. And we figure we got a right to learn as well as any kid.
Oh, I quite agree. But tell me, where does one meet this school teacher of yours?
Well, I seen her a while back down to the creek washing some woman things. I found it, Jim. Right here. Here's a writing quill.
Where at's the ink?
Oh.
You know something? I want to tell you, that there Buck, well, school ain't going to do him no good. You know, he ain't got enough brains to start with.
Well, how many votes will you need to keep her here?
Well, more'n Goose Creek, that's for sure.
You see, we got 20 votes in Rottenhead Gulch. Goose Creek's got maybe 30. So we just got to vote more than they do, so when the votes is counted, then we'll win.
Who counts the votes?
Oh, back in Laramie. Well, as soon as the day is finished, we seal up the voting boxes and we take them up to Laramie.
But won't they know that you've enlarged your voting? They must be aware of the population here.
Shucks, no such thing. We just got to be sure we got more signed votes than Goose Creek. That's all.
And how will you know that?
Well, right now it is kind of a problem.
I got thing, Jim. Right here. Thing.
There you go, mister.
Good afternoon, boys.
Well, now, good afternoon, Miss Jones. Howdy there.
That I've met this gentleman.
Well, no, ma'am. He's just rode in. As soon as he's finished his business, he's going to be riding right out again.
Miss Jones, isn't it?
Yes.
My name is Kendall, Miss Jones. J.B. Kendall.
How do you do, Mr. Kendall?
I have been hearing quite a bit about you, Miss Jones.
Oh, have you?
I'd like very much to talk to you as soon as I've voted.
Voted? But you can't vote. James Ponder.
Oh, now, ma'am, this here is men's work,
I will
and
not
you...
have a dishonest ballot. I told you that before.
Oh, it ain't really dishonest, Miss Jones. Jim made this fella an honorable citizen of Rottenhead Gulch, didn't you, Jim?
I'm very sorry, Mr. Kendall, but you cannot vote.
Oh, ma'am, you just don't understand these here political things.
I understand that you're trying to stuff the ballot box, and I will not have it. Has everybody in town voted?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
We sure have.
Then in my presence, I want you to seal the box.
Oh, Miss Jones, oh, look, we can't do that. Look here, now, it ain't legal. Yeah, not till sundown. It just ain't legal. That's what it says right here in these here instructions from the school district in Laramie. Now, it just ain't legal. Not till sundown.
If everybody's voted, it's legal. Seal the box.
Yes, ma'am.
That just don't seem right. Some of the other fellas didn't get to vote.
Shorty, can you help me seal up this here now thing? Now, Miss Jones, why don't you take Mr. Kendall and show him the schoolhouse? I figure he'd like to see that.
As a matter of fact, I would.
All right. And no more voting. Is that understood?
Oh, Miss Jones, I understand for sure.
This way, Mr. Kendall. Are you a miner, too?
No. I'm a newspaper correspondent for the London Times.
Isn't that strange? I had a feeling, not exactly, but you're very much like my brother. He's a reporter on a Nebraska paper. How strange. Gave me quite a start when I first saw you.
Miss Jones, how long have you been here?
In Rottenhead Gulch, 3 months.
Weren't you surprised to find no children?
Yes. Of course, they kept it from me for almost 2 weeks.
I think I can understand why.
Can you really, Mr. Kendall? Oh, I see. You mean because they wanted to learn themselves? Yes, you're right.
And that's why you decided to stay?
Yes. I suppose you think it curious that a woman devote her time to teaching 20 grown men.
Not curious. Unusual, perhaps.
This is the schoolhouse, Mr. Kendall. The men built it. They built the desks, benches, everything. Would you like to come inside?
Very much.
They even built a wooden floor, Mr. Kendall. Wooden floors are quite rare in these mining towns.
I'm impressed more than I can say, Miss Jones.
They have a great desire for education. I couldn't leave them. Not after they worked so hard to build this.
And now?
Unfortunately, word reached the people of Goose Creek that there was a school teacher here. They are a slightly larger community and feel that the school district board should assign me to their town. Besides which, there are 2 children in Goose Creek.
I see.
The board decided to have it settled by a vote. If enough residents of Goose Creek require my services and outvote the men of Rottenhead Gulch, I shall have to obey the decision of the board.
Well, aren't there other teachers available?
Yes, but that's the strange part of it. Neither town will accept anyone but me. Of course, I'm flattered. But I can't see that it really makes any difference, can you?
Well, yes, in a way. You see...
Here she is, boys. You, mister, elevate your hands high.
Now, we don't aim to hurt you none, Miss Jones. You just come along with us and everything will be right fine.
Mr. Kendall?
Now, look here.
Take care of him, Wes.
Well, I'll do that, Pa.
In a moment, we return to Frontier Gentlemen. Another fascinating adventure is waiting for you on CBS Radio today, as most of these same stations present the FBI in Peace and War. Today, these law enforcers go after a pair of swindlers. You'll be amazed by the cleverness of the swindlers You'll be thrilled to learn, however, that the FBI in peace and war is cleverer still. And now we return you to the Anthony Ellis production of Frontier Gentlemen.
I seem to remember a great roaring in my ears, which, as I awoke, turned out to be the voice of James Ponder. He was kneeling over me, and seeing my eyes open, redoubled his efforts to pour a great dollop of foul-tasting whiskey down my throat.
Come on, Candle, it'll clear your head.
No, I don't.
There you go.
I don't need it, no.
What happened? Yeah, what?
Hey, where is she, Candle?
Help me up, will you?
Well, where is she?
We heard horses, and when we got here, there wasn't nobody except you. Yeah.
There were 3 or 4 men, masked. They've taken her.
Well, who was he?
I don't know, except there was a father and son. The older man called the other Wes.
Wes. Jim, that's Wes over to Goose Creek.
Yeah, Stomp Peter's son, Wes. I might have knowed it.
You reckon they carried her off to beat the vote?
That's what they done.
What good would it do?
Well, I'll tell you what good. They figured they got more votes than we got, and even if we maybe voted more times than them, they got her in Goose Creek. And by the time the school district gets around eyeballing around and maybe a recount, well, it'll be 2, maybe 3 months. And by then there's going to be a new school district board in, and the whole blame thing will have to start up again.
Oh, that no-account Stomp Peters, he's about as welcome as a rattler in a dog town.
Ah, dally your tongue, Shorty. I'll go fetch them other boys out of the hills. We got to do something about this.
Oh, we sure have, Jim.
I tell you, ain't no Goose Creek sidewinder going to rustle our school, Marm. All right, hit the breeze, Shorty. And you too, Buck. Tell the boys to wear shooting irons. This here's going to be a powder-burning contest.
An hour later, 20 men, hard-bitten miners, some of them young, others grizzled, all armed to the teeth, were gathered in Dirty Charlie's saloon. Their mood was black, and it became blacker as Jim Ponder spoke to them.
That's Stomp Peters. He's a no-good, bull-windy, oily bronc. He come here looking for our school, Mom, and he snatches her clean out of Rotten Head Gulch. Well, he ain't gonna get away with it. Because we're going over to Goose Creek, and we're gonna shoot up that there place like you never seen. And we're gonna get Miss Jones right back where she belongs, yeah?
Where she belongs.
And when we get through with Stomp Peters and that dingbat son of his, we're going to use them to trim a tree, yeah? Trim a tree. All right, now get your horses, boys, and rattlehawks out of here.
You coming, Mr. Kendall?
Oh, certainly.
Likely they'll be shooting.
How far is it to Goose Creek?
Oh, about half a mile.
All right, now, let's go! Ho, ho.
Don't you imagine they'll be expecting you?
Why, sure they'll be expecting us. It's gonna be a real shoot-up.
Wouldn't it have been better to surprise them?
What for? They know we'd be coming after them.
Supposing she gets hurt.
Well, now, you know, I didn't think of that. Hey, you figure maybe.
With shooting, there's a chance.
Boys, you hear what Kendall here says? Well, we don't want the school mom hurt. So you watch where you're shooting at, you hear? All right, now, we're going to take it real slow. Just around the next turn. All right, yeah. Hey, Kendall, you and me, we're going to keep an eye out for Miss Jones. Either one of us eyeballs her gets out of there fast, you hear?
Right.
There they are.
Hey, looky at that there, Kendall. Right in the middle of the street. Like you say, looks like they've been expecting us.
We came upon Goose Creek with abrupt suddenness. The trail rounded a bend and became an elongated clearing, lined on both sides with shacks. Perhaps a half dozen more than existed in Rotten Head Gulch. Between the dwellings and in the middle of the street were piled boxes, barrels, and 2 overturned wagons. Behind this barricade, we could see the figures of men and the reflection of sunlight on steel. Up to this point, even with my headache, the affair had been rather difficult to take seriously, but the complexion had radically changed. When we were no more than 20 yards from the defenders, Jim Ponder held up his hand.
Everybody. Yeah. Stop, Peter! What do you want, Ponder? We come to get Miss Jones and take her back to her rightful home. She's in her rightful home, just where she is. And you're a liar. You want to start trouble? We ain't going back without the school, Marm. Maybe you ain't going back because you'll be shaking hands with St. Peter.
Let me talk to him.
This ain't no time for chewing the cud. Let's start throwing lead.
Shorty, shut your mouth, will you?
They're in a better position than we are.
Shucks, we could ride right over them.
If you lived that long.
What's the matter, boys? Afraid to take the big jump?
Come out, Peters. You can bring another man with you. Jim Ponder and I'll meet you between the lines.
Who are you?
The chap who was with Miss Jones.
I told you, Pa. I told you he wasn't dead.
All right. You and Ponder get off your horses. Come forward slow.
You watch it, Jim.
Now, don't you fret. Hey, boys. Hey, start something. You go in and finish it, yeah?
We'll finish it.
Oh, let's go, Kendall. What's your name, mister?
Kendall.
This here's my boy, Wes. We figured he'd killed you.
I told you I didn't, Pa.
What do you got to say?
Where's Miss Jones?
In the schoolhouse we got built for her?
Is she all right?
Sure, she's all right.
Ain't nobody gonna hurt that pretty gal.
No, sir.
Well, we aim to take her back, Stomp Peters.
You're off your mental reservation if you think you can do it, Ponder. You ain't got no right to a schoolma'am nohow. Why, there ain't a kid in that broken-down, flea-bitten town of yours.
Well, that don't matter. We aim to get some by and by. School district give her to us.
We just outvoted you. She's ours now.
You better set your gun a-going, Stomp Peters.
Well, that what you want? I'm willing. Draw.
Now, wait. That won't settle anything.
Well, I never seen a better way.
You get him, Pa. Cut down this here Kendall fella.
Young man, I owe you something for that clout on the head, but I have no desire to kill you. Now, both of you, keep your hands in sight. You too, Jim.
Huh? Hey, what's ailing you, mister? I'm on your side.
Then keep your gun holstered. There's no need for shooting. Peters, tell one of your men to bring Miss Jones out here.
I ain't gonna do it.
Hey, Sam, go get the schoolma'am, bring her out. Just what you got in mind, Kendall.
You'll see.
Well, it better be good. Of course, effing it ain't. Effing Stomp Peters' boys don't get you, me or mine will. Ain't nobody pulls a gun on me and gets away with it.
I think it's for the best.
What are you men doing?
Well, howdy, ma'am. We come to get you out of this here pest hole. We come to save you.
I've had enough of this nonsense. First, I'm forced to accompany Mr. Peters against my will. Now your men are lined up waiting to kill each other. I will not have it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Kendall, put away that gun. All of you. Put down those guns.
All right, boys. You heard what she said. Now put them away.
Now, Mr. Kendall, I should be obliged if you will escort me back to Laramie.
Laramie? You gonna go back to Laramie?
Oh, she's going to Laramie.
Oh, Miss Jones.
It's gone too far. If this is the example you set your children...
Miss Jones, could I have a word with you in private?
I really don't see that
Well, I think you will. Gentlemen, if you'll excuse us.
Oh, she can't go back to Laramie. You said you could have her.
Looks like there ain't nobody gonna have her no more.
Oh, dreadful grammar. Double, triple negatives.
Miss Jones, there may be a solution, if you're willing.
I don't see any way. I really don't.
If they could share you?
Share me?
I mean your teaching. The towns are only a half-mile apart. It might be possible.
No, Mr. Kendall. My mind's made up. Today is the final straw.
Miss Jones, think of the schoolhouse in Rotten Head Gulch.
You know, it was rather touching. They've built a schoolhouse for me here in Goose Creek as well. The floor isn't quite as good, but...
They need you, Miss Jones.
You think so?
I do. Look at them.
They are like children, aren't they?
Very much like children.
I think perhaps you're right, Mr. Kendall. But I wonder what the school district board will think.
Well, I imagine a joint petition from both towns ought to settle the problem.
Yes. Yes, very likely. All right. If the men will agree to your plan.
I'm sure they will.
All right. I'll stay. Mr. Kendall,
Yes?
while I was being held captive, a rather terrible thought occurred to me. It is the education that I can give them, isn't it? I mean, there are no baser thoughts involved. Perhaps because I am a woman?
Miss Jones, were it not for the fact that I have already completed my school and university curricula, I should not hesitate to avail myself of the opportunity to better my education.
Thank you, Mr. Kendall. You've relieved my mind.
The matter was settled most amicably, and readers of the London Times will be interested to know that an extraordinarily pretty woman by the name of Miss Annabella Jones is now entrusted with the education of some 53 adults and 2 children in the mining towns of Goose Creek and Rotten Head Gulch in Wyoming Territory.
Frontier Gentleman was written, produced, and directed by Anthony Ellis and stars John Dehner as J.B. Kendall. Featured in the cast were Jack Crucian, Virginia Gregg, Vic Perrin, Jack Moyles, Harry Bartell, and Eddie Firestone. Today's tense episode of Gunsmoke proves no gambling stakes were too high along the frontier. For thrill upon thrill, hear what happens in the pioneer days of Dodge City when a man's life hangs upon the outcome of a horse race. That's on CBS Radio's Gunsmoke later on today. Join us again next week for another report from the Frontier Gentleman. Dan Cubberly speaking.
Eastern Time on Sunday, June 1st, 1958. Frontier Gentleman here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That was followed, of course, by the Ford Road Show. And then at 3 o'clock they had news. The Road Show reports were basically one song and a commercial for Ford products. And that was most interesting. CBS then at 3 o'clock, after the news, went to the World Music Festival, their classical stuff that they did. And then coming up at 4 o'clock, they did, they didn't do anything until 4:30. At 4:30, another edition of the CBS Road Show, and that would be followed by Suspense, which we'll hear in a few moments here. But first, we're going to take a look at the news on that Sunday, 67 years ago today. That is next.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The Army and Air Force is proud of its soldiers and airmen. Today's members of the armed forces have finer training, better equipment than ever before, and a strong, flexible defense of intelligent young men and women. We in America can maintain this effectiveness only by building strength and remaining strong. To have strength requires manpower, and men are vitally needed to support our forces in the Far East. You young men eligible for selective service make for the vigor, flexibility, and imagination that are necessary in an effective Army and Air Force. If you're of draft age and haven't yet received notice to report for pre-induction physical, volunteer to serve your nation now. Be a part of the Army and Air Force. Stop in at your nearest Army and Air Force recruiting station today and get the details. Volunteer your services now while you can still choose. Don't delay. Enlist today.
Now on this Sunday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we're going to look at a Sunday 67 years ago today, June 1st, 1958, to go along with the shows we're listening. Here's some of the news stories. From Chalfont, Pennsylvania, the 362 guests at a Negro teenage sorority picnic had been plagued by random fights with whites all Memorial Day. Then, without warning, the trouble exploded into rioting. Before it ended, an hour or so later, about 500 people, mostly teenagers, had been embroiled. Holiday crowds that jammed Forest Amusement Park in Chalfont, Pennsylvania, streaked for cover. Many women fainted and children were terrified. Scores injured, several seriously, in the bedlam of recklessly swung baseball bats, tire irons, bottles, even small trees ripped up for use as weapons. Rocks and blocks were cast in all directions. Traffic deaths pushed to the 200 mark Saturday night, and safety officials said this Memorial Day could be the worst on record for national highway fatalities. As of 9:30 Eastern Time last night, United Press International counted at least 200 traffic fatalities since 6 o'clock local time Thursday. In addition, there were 62 drownings, 4 deaths in plane accidents, and 37 deaths from miscellaneous mishaps for an overall of 304. Texas posting 17 traffic deaths to lead the nation in highway slaughter. The United Auto Workers, already working without a contract at General Motors, conceded Saturday there was little chance of reaching agreement with Ford and Chrysler before those contracts run out at midnight tonight. UAW bargaining teams met with Ford and Chrysler and prepared for a final session today in efforts to win new contracts or day-to-day extensions of old ones. At least 12 rebels were reportedly killed by small arms fire Saturday in the third day of fighting in Tripoli between the insurgents and the Lebanese army. Reports said at least 20 rebels had been killed in the 3-day period in the North Lebanon port city of Tripoli, where the revolt against pro-Western President Camille Charmond began May 8th. No reports of army casualties. U.S. officials watched Saturday with a mix of hope and fear the relentless return of General Charles de Gaulle towards supreme authority in France. The fear is that while the de Gaulle regime may resolve the immediate crisis in France, it may lead to a new crisis between France and other countries within the North Atlantic Alliance. The hope is that de Gaulle will use his strongman position to reform France's unstable parliamentary system, solve the Algerian problem, and do all this without endangering the pattern of French-American-British cooperation within the framework of NATO. Anti-Americanism, rampant in Algiers at the start of the army insurrection May 13th, has declined with the evolution of events in Paris. 2 weeks ago, reporters arriving in Algeria were greeted by a stern French mayor with the comment, "We don't like Americans here, you better watch your step." Only a month ago, an American correspondent roughed up by toughs who tore up his notebook. Now paratroopers salute and French officers soften smile at U.S. newsmen. Crowds demonstrating wildly every day in the city smilingly make room for Americans to pass. A far cry from the day 3 weeks ago when mobs attacked the U.S. Information Center in Algeria. Frenchmen seem to want to forget about that. General Charles de Gaulle, triumphant after weeks of powder-keg maneuvering in Algeria and France, agreed Saturday night to become premier and bring a soldier's discipline to the long-paralyzed government. Senator Styles Bridges, the Republican in New Hampshire, predicted Saturday Congress will approve a compromise defense reorganization bill in a form acceptable to President Eisenhower. Bridges, who heads the Senate Republican Policy Committee and is senior GOP member of the Armed Services Committee, said in an interview He plans to expect compromises in the Senate to some of the provisions Eisenhower has criticized in a House bill. But the New Hampshire senator, made it clear he would not yield to the Secretary of Defense's authority to transfer functions among the separate armed services as Eisenhower officially proposed. Senator Lyndon B. Johnson, the Democrat of Texas, said Saturday night the Eisenhower administration has trafficked in expediency by supporting dictators while world freedom is at stake. Johnson, the Senate's Democrat leader, called in an address prepared for the University of Houston commencement for a great national rebuilding of American spirit and prestige to restore U.S. leadership among the Western nations, quoting, "America must not stand with cotton in its ears and hands over its eyes and pretend it neither hears nor sees the walls of freedom crumbling at its feet." In New Orleans, Negroes sat side by side with white people on public buses and streetcars Saturday for the first time in the city's long and turbulent history. No reported violence. The city of Mardi Gras seemed to accept mixing of the races in public transportation with calmness, but you could feel the awareness of people of both races. Some people resented the court-ordered change in their lives. Unknown persons showed their resentment by burning an 8-foot wooden cross soaked with kerosene during Friday night on the lawn of District Court Judge J. Skelly Wright, who signed the order ending bus segregation. An unidentified woman sat behind a newsman Saturday with her aged mother watching a young Negro woman take a bus seat in the area formerly reserved for whites. She told her mother, "All this Negro trouble was caused by those 3 judges, that white. Right, they ought to tar and feather him." Well, some things were better, some things were worse. Those some of the day's top news stories from the newspapers of Sunday, June 1st, 1958. On the radio, 67 years ago today, radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
An expression you hear a lot is something to the effect that you can't have everything. It suggests a kind of responsible acceptance of life. I mean, not forever expecting some miraculous good fortune. And most of us don't. But there are certain youngsters who refuse to go along with that idea. Nearly every day they live, they experience miraculous good fortune. The youngsters, I mean, are the ones with cerebral palsy. The reason they experience wonderful good fortune so often is that, to many of them, just being able to take a step is kind of a miraculous good fortune. Or when, after years of training and struggle and therapy, when at last some little kid with cerebral palsy is able merely to lift a glass to his lips, well, that's having everything to that child. Somewhere in America, cerebral palsy strikes some child every 53 minutes, every day in the year. United Cerebral Palsy is fighting this ruthless, persistent crippler. Join that fight and give hope and heart to some little kid in one of the toughest fights on earth. Join the 53-minute march on cerebral palsy today.
I think of that last story I read and I kind of shake my head and realize that there was a time in this country where we hated everybody else. And we hated white people hated black people hated white people, and why can't we all just get along? I mean, really. Okay, radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense, an episode starring Vincent Price from 67 years ago today, June 1st, 1958, Rave Notice.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
The dream of every actor is the perfect performance. The performance that brings the audience to its feet, shouting bravo, and brings the critics to their knees with rave notices. But
Audiences, critics, and playwrights being what they are, this dream is seldom realized. In the upcoming Suspense story, however, it is, with some startling results. Listen then as Mr. Vincent Price stars in Rave Notice, which begins in just a moment.
Memo on Medals. Facts and figures about military decorations with which you may not be familiar. Among the earliest forms of medals was a gold button presented by Alexander the Great to a high priest in the 4th century B.C. after winning an important battle. Crude medallions became the standard form of commemorating victory until in the 15th century, a noted Italian artist-sculptor developed and perfected a classic medallion, the forerunner of our modern medals. During Queen Victoria's reign, the present system of awarding medals was introduced and was soon adopted by other countries. 2 famous early American medals appear in the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. One presented to Captain Thomas Truxton, commander of the U.S. Constellation, for defeating the French frigate Vengeance during the West Indies campaign of 1800. The other medal on exhibit is the one awarded to General Ulysses S. Grant for breaking Confederate control of the Mississippi River during the Civil War. Old or new, medals represent a memorable, heroic act worthy of our respect and pride.
And now, Rave Notice, starring Vincent Price. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
I am an actor, and this is a theater.
I can't permit it. What, Father?
Up there on the stage, beyond the empty seats lit by the single bare bulb of the work light, are my fellow actors. We are here to make a play. Friend Norman, sitting alone in the 3rd row, is our director. This is the 5th day of rehearsal. It's not a bad little play, but you know Norman. Norman will manage somehow to spoil it. Norman will misdirect the actors and lose the values.
No.
But, Norman, why not?
Why not? Because I am the director and I say no. No.
Yes, Norman.
All right, cast, take 5. Oh, Sam.
Oh, yes, Norman.
Sam, come over here. I want to talk to you.
Sure, Norman, sure. Well, what is it?
Sam, I've had to turn over the bell ringer to Luther.
The bell ringer? That's my part, the bell ringer. What do you mean, Luther?
Don't make it difficult for me,
Difficult?
Sam.
I'm not making it difficult. The bell ringer role is mine, that's all. There's no difficulty involved. You must be kidding.
It's not as if I hadn't warned you,
Well, look,
Sam.
tell me what's wrong. Tell me where I've gone off, what irritates you, what doesn't fit. I'll fix it. That's my role, Norman. I carry the whole play with that role.
Don't shout, Sam. Don't make a fool of yourself.
A fool? Oh. Look, Norman, why are you doing this to me?
Because you're not right for it?
Not right? You fat pig, what do you know?
Easy.
What do you know? What do you know about acting?
Easy, Sam. Take it easy there.
Fat belly, fat head, fat face.
That's enough.
You know nothing.
I know you. I know actors. You're no actor. You stink.
Oh, I'll kill you for saying that. I'll kill you.
Did you hear that, Cass? Your witnesses. He's threatening me again.
Yes, listen well, my friends. Norman, I'm going to kill you.
Norman, I'm going to kill you. You see, you can't even deliver that line. You stink.
Yes, gentlemen. I want to buy a gun.
Yes, sir. And what sort of gun did you wish to buy?
One that'll shoot through fat.
Sir?
Oh, pardon me, I was thinking of... what have you got?
What was it you wish to use this gun for?
I want to kill a rat.
Oh, I think then maybe 22, huh? Now then, let me see here. It's a nice little gun.
That looks pretty small. This is an awful big rat, a fat rat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I think a shotgun then, a 410, yes.
You think that'll do it?
It should.
Bullets. You have bullets?
Shells you use in this gun.
Very well, I want one.
One box?
No, one shell.
Only one?
Yeah, this rat I'm not going to miss. It's time now. He will come out of the stage door and he'll walk this way through Schubert's alley on his way to Sardi's for a drink. I slide the gun out from under my coat and I wonder. Heart or belly? Heart or belly? Belly. Belly, yes, his cultivated paunch, fatted with actors' hearts. Here he comes, on cue for his exit. Goodbye, Norman.
Sam! I'm shot.
Norman, you're dying.
Please, somebody call an ambulance, please.
Is this how you play your death theme, Norman? You're dying, Norman. Play it.
Play it!
He didn't die right away. He just lay there in Schubert's alley and bled. And then they took him to the hospital, and they took me to Tombs Prison, and they got me a lawyer. I suppose when he dies, I become a murderer, huh?
Yes.
They'll electrocute me.
Yes?
I must have been crazy.
I thought of that.
What do you mean?
Temporary insanity. I thought we might plead that.
Well, why don't we?
Because you threatened him before witnesses at least twice, went to a store, chose a gun with great care, waited for him to appear. You did all this, and then you shot him.
Yeah, that's right, I did.
That's premeditated murder. First-degree murder.
So the temporary insanity thing is out.
Way out. The, only other thing I could think of is, if we could prove you were insane all along.
What would happen? I mean, what would happen if I were?
Then they couldn't execute you.
Of course.
You seem very calm.
I'm an actor. Insane. Mad. I know a joke. A wonderful joke. I'm going to beat Norman even in his grave. I'm going to have myself exonerated of his murder. Yes, freed of the charges. It's so simple. I'm going to play the greatest role of my life. Play it without makeup, without lights, without script or cue. I'm going to play a part strangely foreign to my nature. I'm going to play a homicidal maniac.
In a moment, we continue with the second act of Suspense.
Another visit with Joe and Daphne Forsythe.
Joe, what are you doing?
Oh, hi, Daphne. Just eating a midnight snack.
What is that mess?
That mess is a liverwurst, salami, lettuce, and peanut butter delight.
Nightmare is more like it. What woke you up?
My stomach was growling. What woke you up?
You. And I was dreaming such a pleasant dream.
Oh? What?
I dreamed all of our savings bonds had matured and we were cashing them in.
That kind of a dream I can appreciate.
We were planning a trip around the world, and you bought me a fur coat, and I bought you that fishing tackle you want. Oh, it was gorgeous.
Well, it doesn't have to be just a dream. Some of our savings bonds are ready to mature now.
Joe, maybe we shouldn't cash them in. They can go on earning interest, you know, and it adds up fast.
I know. That's why we started buying savings bonds, remember? With a bond a month on the payroll savings plan, our money is saved automatically.
Stop waving that sandwich under my nose. You're making me hungry.
Well, fix yourself a sandwich, ma'am. I got all the makings right over here.
All right. Move over, you bond-buying midnight maverick. I'm going to fix myself a humdinger.
And now, starring Vincent Price, Act 2 of Rave Notice.
I'm going to play a homicidal maniac. How? How? By using the method, the Stanislavski method. Let's see now, what is the most horrible thing I ever did? The thing closest to murder. I must recreate that mood. Murder, killing, blood. I killed a cat once. I was 6 years old. I had a stick. It was in an alley, this cat. I poked it just for fun. But he scratched me, and I hit him with the stick. He started squalling, and I thought, I'm going to get in trouble. Stop that noise. So I hit him again to make him stop, and again to make him stop. And there was blood, red blood on the gray cement. And I struck out the screams, struck out the life, struck out the awful gaze of those great yellow eyes. Struck out the life, strike out the spirit, the spark. I killed. The murderer am I. Killed for the thrill of the silence of the cat. I am a murderer. A murderer I am. I kill without reason. That's it. That's the character. All I need for turning it on is the memory, those key points, gray cement, cat's eyes, my feelings as a 6-year-old. Oh, there'll be refinements. I'll refine it. Oh, Norm, if you were only to see this scene. Dim the house lights, raise the curtain, and now to bring in the audience.
Hey, you.
Who, may I ask, are you?
What's going on down here, Murph? I don't know.
Who are you?
Come on, now, will you, Mark?
I asked a civil question, I expect a civil answer. Who are you?
You're so nice and quiet for a while.
Just answer my question, that's all I ask, and that's not much for a hero to be asking now, is it?
You don't know who we are.
I think he's putting on an act.
Hey, don't turn your head away. We know you hear us.
Yeah, leave him be.
You think he's kidding?
Who cares?
Yeah.
That was very weak. You can do better than that. You're supposed to be a murderer, a homicidal maniac, so what's the emotion? Guilt. You've got to be guilty. Smear yourself with the stuff. Guilty, bloody hands, guilty, and you want to be punished. Yes, punish yourself. That'll do it. But it'll hurt. So what? Not like it hurts when they shave your head and slit your trousers and strap you to your seat. That seat, 10,000 volts coursing through this poor player's frail body. Murderer. Guilty. You should be punished. 1, 2, 3. Curtain going up. I'm guilty. There's blood on my hands, blood and filth and disease. I smashed him on the gray cement and smashed him. I murdered him. I'm a murderer. I confess it. It. Oh, look, I want to confess to purge myself of this guilt.
Oh, come on.
I am guilty, Deander. I smashed him.
What are you getting so worked up about? The guy ain't even dead yet.
Not dead. He is dead. He's been dead these past 36 years. 36 years! Oh, if you don't punish me, I... Oh.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, will you quit beating your fist against the wall?
I am guilty, and I shall be smashed as he was smashed.
Hey, your hand, you're going to bust your hand on that wall
I shall be smashed. It is written. You know the writing in blood that lies across the counterpane in the bed under the window when little boys are supposed to be far away in slumberland.
Mahoney!
Yeah?
Get the doctor. This guy flipped.
Good. Get the doctor. Oh, the hand. My hand is killing me. If something broke, then I don't mind the bloody scraped knuckles or even breaking the nails, but not the bones. 2 cats dead. Murdered by my stick. 4 cats dead, murdered by my stick. How long has he been doing this?
About 15 minutes, Doctor.
I see. All right, now you can stop that. I don't stop. I don't look. I keep right at it. Keep it apart. Murderer. Guilty. Stop it. It hurts, but I'm paying a price. Stop it. I'm buying my way out of the electric chair. All right. Grab him. No, please. Please. I want to pay. I'm the guilty one, and I want to pay my debt to society. Hold him. No, let me go. I must pay.
Steady. This'll quiet him.
Hypodermic needle. An injection. It'll knock me out. I can't act if I'm unconscious. I can't play my part if my guilty part if... Got to hurt myself. Got to hurt myself.
continue with the third act of Suspense.
We have together ample capacity and freedom to defend freedom. This is NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization goes far beyond a formidable military defense organization. Within its networks of committees functions the machinery to contribute to further development of peaceful and friendly international relations by strength of sharing tasks and pooling scientific facilities and information. The United States of America is a part of NATO. You should be aware of and alert to the objectives and programs of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
And now, starring Vincent Price, Act 3 of Rave Notice.
It's so quiet here, so white. Such sweet stillness and peace. Gone the darkness of the cell, steel and concrete. They're watching me very carefully. The taller one, he's new. The other gave me the hypodermic, yes. Hypodermic? How long have I been out? Did I say anything while I was out? Perhaps if I keep still, they will let me know.
Your definite suicidal tendencies, Doctor?
Well, to put it another way, obsessive guilt with a compulsion to self-destruction.
Nothing new about that.
Look, he's opening his eyes.
Hello? You awake?
Who are you?
You remember me, don't you?
No.
Well, I gave you something to quiet you a little while ago.
A little while ago, huh?
When you were trying to injure yourself so we'd think you're insane.
And you've decided to give that up, haven't you?
I have to carry out my sentence, you know.
Well, how will you carry out your sentence?
Be smashed. I'm to be smashed as I have smashed the cat.
Is that the law?
Yes, I smashed him with a stick.
Stick? You mean shotgun, don't you?
Oh, why would I say shotgun if I meant stick? I said stick.
But you shot the man with a shotgun.
It was a cat, and I smashed him with a stick.
Well, after you smashed him with the stick, what happened?
What?
What happened after he was dead?
I was frightened. I went home. Mama was there. She said, "How did you get blood on your hands?" I said, "A dog licked my hand, and he had blood on his teeth."
I understand you're an actor.
Oh, aren't we all actors? We try to act innocent when we're guilty.
Doctor, will you step outside a moment?
I've got them. What are they talking about out there? I wish I knew. It doesn't matter. I've got them. I know that. I've got them. I've got them.
Well, I guess you'll be leaving us soon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're very understanding, Doctor. I'm guilty and I must pay. You know that.
What the doctor means is that you're going to a place where they'll help you to get well.
Get well, huh?
Yes, of course. Doctor, if you'll have the affidavits drawn up, I'll sign. We'll get a court order committing him.
Right.
Seems you were right all along. You know, I wasn't sure until you told me about the man he shot being out of danger.
Oh, yes. The guards told the patient his victim had recovered. But he didn't comprehend, of course. Went right on screaming and punishing himself.
I see. What would they have given him if we'd found him sane?
Well, that depends. The injured party refused to press charges. He'd be out of here in an hour.
Recovered? They didn't tell me Norman had recovered. How could he have recovered? I shot him in his fat paunch. When did they tell me? It was while I was screaming, maybe. I was really into the part, then deep in it. I couldn't have heard them, and now he'll be free, and I will go off to an insane asylum married to a role that I loathe, that I hate. No. Doctor! Doctor, come back! It was all a joke, Doctor, a game. Come back!
What is it?
Listen, Doctor, I have a confession to make. I'm not insane. Please believe me.
Oh, of course you're not. Just a little confused, that's all.
Oh, no, you're wrong. Don't you see? It was all a gag. Just a gag.
Yes, of course it was. Now you're going to a place where you can rest and everything's going to be all right.
No, believe me, I am sane.
Why shout?
I'm not shouting. I only want to impress on you.
You were shouting rather loudly.
Look, my lawyer said if I could prove insanity, I wouldn't go to the chair.
Chair?
Yeah.
I thought you were to be, you said smash.
Oh, forget that. That was a part of the method.
Method?
The Stanislavski method. It's a system of acting.
What do you think, Doctor?
I don't know.
Well, the patient seems to be telling the truth.
Yes, he does.
I can fool you all over again if you feel it's necessary to prove my point.
No, I don't believe you'll be able to fool us again.
Doctor, what's your opinion?
I say the man's in full control of his faculties, is aware of his crime, and committed it out of what society calls a sober motive. I say the man is sane.
You, sir. Do you agree with the doctor?
It's what I've been telling you.
And I say same. That makes it unanimous.
Gentlemen, never in the history of the theater has such a performance been rendered, nor under such adverse circumstances.
Just one more question.
Of course.
Why did you kill him?
Kill him? But I didn't. I shot him, that's all. Shot. You mean shot, don't you? Don't you?
No.
But Norman, he is dead.
Yes, and you were sane. And you were going to repay society with your life.
Norman is dead. Treacherous, lecherous, body villains! Ring down the curtain! The play is ended!
Suspense, in which Vincent Price starred in William N. Robeson's production of Rave Notice by James Poe. Supporting Vincent Price in Rave Notice were Lou Merrill, Peter Leeds, Barney Phillips, Jack Crucian, Jim Nusser, and Jerome Thor. Listen. Listen again next week when we return with Mr. Larry Parks in The Invisible Ape, another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Originally broadcast on CBS Sunday afternoon, 4:35 p.m., June 1st, 1958, 67 years ago today, Suspense. The rest of the night on CBS had a lot of interesting shows, including yours truly, Johnny Dollar, at 5:05. At 5:30, the FBI in Peace and War. At 6:05, Indictment. That was followed at 6:30 by Gunsmoke. And then at 7 o'clock, CBS had The Best of Benny, the Jack Benny Show. And then at 7:30, Says Who, the quiz show. We brought you an episode of that with Henry Morgan as the MC, trying to identify bits of audio and figure out who they were. At 8:05, it was the Mitch Miller Show, an hour of music, and that was followed by News in the World Tonight at 9 o'clock, and then Face the Nation at 9:30. That basically ended the dramas on that day. And there was nobody else doing drama. You had some humor over on NBC with Monitor, but that was, news and assortment of stuff. And everybody else was doing other stuff. So there you go. And that's a look back 67 years ago today, June 1st, 1958, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now, coming up tomorrow, we will have comedy. My Friend Irma, starring Marie Wilson, also Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis and Jeff Chandler. We will have an episode of Fibber McGee and Molly, Groucho Marx, and You Bet Your Life. Tuesday, more comedy with Archie Andrews, Jack Benny, and Bob Hope, and the Old Gold Comedy Theater. Wednesday, more comedy with the Steve Allen Show, a summer show with Eve Arden as his guest. My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball. The Henry Morgan Show, and Mr. Ace and Jane. Yeah. And then we'll have some Westerns on Thursday with Have Gun Will Travel, Gunsmoke, Frontier Town, and The Challenge of the Yukon. And then on Friday and Saturday, we're going to have 2 days' worth of special shows all around D-Day. In the past, we have made them very news-heavy programs, but this year we're not. we're going to make them, these are the shows that actually aired. And we're going to, and some of the shows on Friday itself, on D-Day itself, June 6th, were abbreviated because of all the war news. You'll hear the Red Skelton Show. You will hear an H.V. Calton-born newscast. You will hear the Passing Parade, Ginny Sims Show. Also, we will have Fibber and Molly. Columbia presents Corwin. Some amazing stuff. And Bob Hope. And then on Saturday, Orson Welles' Almanac, a special D-Day show, along with Arch Obler's plays entitled Night. And then the soap operas, The Guiding Light, the Ma Perkins Show, also Pepper Young's Family, Mary Noble, Backstage Wife, and Vic and Sade. That's all coming up this week ahead here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Next, though, the FBI in Peace and War.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, a long time ago it was written that man shall not live by bread alone. In this often quoted line from the Bible, bread is merely a symbol of all material values. And although we in America have the greatest material advantages in the world, they are not enough to bring us complete happiness. We must find that happiness in our spiritual as well as our material lives, in faith as well as bread. In America, one of our most precious heritages is the right to worship as we please, to know the spiritual pleasures of our churches and synagogues. The doors of your places of worship stand open to you, and your religious leaders will welcome you to their services. They also offer you personal and family guidance and the opportunity to become a firm part of your community. Through our churches and synagogues, that community and the families within it can find stability. And as an individual, you can find the peace that only religion can bring. Thus, the religious organizations of America invite you to find yourself through faith and come to church this week. Good night.
Now on Classic Radio Theater, we head to June 1st, 1955, 70 years ago today, the FBI in Peace and War and Gray Matter.
The FBI in Peace and War. Another great story based on Frederick L. Collins' copyrighted book, The FBI in Peace and War. Drama, thrills, action. Tonight's story, Gray Matter.
And I'm no sooner behind the wheel when this fancy green Jag backs into me like I wasn't existing or something. A flash, and I'm on the street, moving on the driver, and I yell at him.
Hey, go easy on the fizz, will you? I want to drown. I drown in scotch.
Yeah, I yell at him, where do you think you are? We got laws for driving backwards. When what do? I see it's my old friend, Fancy Davies. I say at him, well, Fancy, for the love of Mike, what are you doing here in a non-resort? And you're driving one of those there Italian cars besides.
Hey, only one Cuba Ice.
Yeah. And he says at me, well, Perry, for the love of Mike, what are you doing here in a non-resort? And a Jag ain't an Italian, it's an English.
Charming repartee.
Liz. Mace, I'm telling you, this is important. This Fancy Davies is out of lady luck, I'm telling you. A regular walk-in file of every racket known to the police, the FBI, and even you and me.
Liz, honey, relax, huh? Do me a favor?
Yeah, you won't think it's such repartee when it saves Mace from shelling out 200 G's, not to mention a stretch into pokey. Oh, that's him now, Mace. I asked him to come over before dinner.
I haven't finished my drink yet.
You don't got to worry. This one's a down the hatcher from way back. Hello, Fancy. Come on in.
Good evening, Perry. I detect the aroma of good Scotch whiskey. I'm not intruding, am I?
No, not on your life. We're expecting. Come on in.
Thank you.
Fancy, this is my boss, Mr. Mason. Mace, this is Fancy Davis. From here up, nothing but gray matter.
Hello, Davies. Mr. Mason, sir.
Fancy, let me fix your 2 fingers. I was just going to tell him about your professional career when you arrived.
Let him tell us himself, Perry.
Well, I'm delighted. Thank you very much, Perry. Well, there isn't much to tell, really. I'm a specialist by trade, only my specialty seems to offend our good gentlemen of law enforcement. And so I'm temporarily removed from the active play.
He's on the lam, Mason.
What's the specialty, Davies?
My specialty, Mr. Mason, is specialty. People in trouble come to me. They fail to extricate themselves. Their friends have failed. Their attorneys have failed. I make a complete study of the problem.
A complete study, huh?
Yes, and after it, I offer a way out that may be beyond one's ken, but is nonetheless perfection itself, guaranteed to be absolutely foolproof. You don't mind, sir, if I help myself to just one more swallow of this delightful scotch?
No, go right ahead. But I think you're only wasting your time. They got me coming and going. There's no way out of this.
They never have you when Fancy Davies starts thinking, Mr. Mason. You can put your mind at ease, sir. From here in, mine will take command. Cheers.
One of the smartest and most artful swindlers ever to come to the attention of your FBI was James Monroe Davies, born some 45 years ago in Shenandoah County, Virginia. Davies was well educated, a brilliant law student who failed to matriculate in his final college year when his tuition money went to the horses instead of the registrar. Seeing this as a challenge, he abandoned his legal career for an illegal one that covered every known fraud. Common gossip had it, if Fancy Davies was in your corner, the opposition might just as well pack up and go home.
That's what I said, sir. Pack up and go home.
Uh-huh. What did I tell you, Mace? Your worries are over. The crime commission can go jump in the lake.
Davies.
Yes?
You mean you've really figured an angle that'll pull me out of this thing?
Yes, I mean exactly that. Of course, there's a small price tag on it.
Don't worry.
50,000.
50?
It's worth it, believe me.
Whew. Now I know why they call you Fancy. You got big ideas, friend.
That's right, I have, and that's why I charge big prices. Of course, if you'd rather not hear the angle...
Okay, 50,000. Let's hear.
All right. I'm going to make this brief, sir, and to the point. I've been over the entire situation. I've spoken with Perry. I've spoken with Elizabeth. I've read all the material you gave me.
So?
So, the long and short of it is this. Stop me where I'm wrong, please, sir. The Crime Commission has you over a barrel. Oh, you can worm your way out of the cash checks. Ditto the undeclared profits. But those tape recordings they've got will lower the boom, sir. And then some.
Telling me something.
As a matter of fact, I'm very surprised that you were able to find counsel to represent you. Mr. Mason, tell me, how in heaven's name did you allow those recordings out of your hands?
We didn't. It was that louse, Sal Leviton. Mace didn't even know there was recording.
Oh, Sal Leviton?
Yeah, my ex-partner.
Oh.
The nerve of the guy. He didn't trust me. Took down every word from my mouth for 4 years, and after I treated him like my own, what does he do but go make a present to the DA, who was never my best pal to begin with?
Too bad.
Very too bad. Well, I still don't see nobody packing up to go home.
You will.
How?
On the day you're subpoenaed, your attorney simply walks into court with this briefcase and sets it down near the recording machine on display as evidence.
And?
And that's all.
That's all?
Simple enough, isn't it?
Maybe too simple. How does a nothing briefcase give them no leg to stand?
Obviously, your schooling failed to include the appealing subject of electronics, sir. Inside the briefcase, you'll find a powerful battery-operated electro-magnet.
Electro-magnet?
Battery-operated.
Yeah.
In the vicinity of the magnet, anything recorded on tape in a mere fraction of a second isn't.
What?
Completely erase, sir. Every single word. On the same principle used to erase the tape in the ordinary recording machine. Well?
Well. And well.
I'm telling you, am I right? Right out of lady luck. The guy has got it up here. All brain, I'm telling you. All gray matter. Am I right?
Wanted by the FBI for fraud and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, James Monroe Davies, alias Fancy Davies. Description as follows. Height 6 feet, weight 180, age... Good morning. I'm looking for the ad department of Nebula Publications. This it?
That's right. I'm Nebula. Also Big Dipper Publications, Fourth Dimension, and Milky Way. We put out all four. What can I do for you, mister? I'll give you a nice price on a full-page spread.
My name's Stevens, FBI.
And my name... FBI, huh? Well, sit down. What's on your mind?
This ad on page 12 of your January issue. Are you familiar with it?
I haven't got my glasses.
Right next to the factual story by Dr. Kingman.
Oh, sure. A practical plan for interplanetary television.
Are you familiar with it?
I should be. I wrote it.
You're Dr. Kingman?
A pseudonym. I knock off half the yarns in the mags under different suits. Aliases, I guess you'd call them.
Are you familiar with the advertisement, not the story?
What's it say?
It says, "Don't let next Christmas be empty as the last for our young homeless ones. Send your old tape recorders and electromagnets to Pastor Davies' youth home. Care of Nebula Magazine. Electrostatic generators especially needed."
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
You know anything about the man who took the ad?
Pastor Davies? No, why should I? A man like that does such fine work with the kids, you don't ask questions. He paid his bill, we sent what come in, and that was that.
You have his forwarding address, don't you?
I'd have to look it up. The January issue, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, it'll be right here in the files. What's all the excitement? Pastor Davies isn't Pastor Davies?
Oh, quite the opposite.
Yeah, here we are, Davies. Oh, no, that's Murdoch. I can't see a thing without my glasses. Here we are. That says Davies, don't it? Pastor Davies, all mail and articles to 429 South Avenue in Brooklyn.
Well, that's where I found the magazine. Anything else?
After March 1st, the Beekman Hotel in Chicago to be held until called for.
All right, that may help. Thanks for your cooperation.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Say, where do you suppose he is now, Davies? What I mean, a meatball like that isn't going to hang around one place too long.
If I knew the answer to that, I wouldn't be here. But I'll tell you one thing. When I catch up with him, he'll be sweating it out in court.
All right now, Mr. Mason, suppose we leave undeclared profits for the moment and turn to the subject of those cash checks.
Okay, Your Honor.
Mr. Mason, may I remind you again, I am not Your Honor. Counsel here in this instance is only serving the committee and should be addressed as neither judge nor jury.
Okay, I get you.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Mason, what I'm getting at is this. During one period of this more or less continuous operation...
What page of the testimony are you referring to?
Page 226. Checks were being cashed at your establishment, Mr. Mason. So far as I can see, checks were being cashed at the rate of close to $500,000 a month. And it would seem to me that if that many checks were...
Now, the chair is going to have to ask the attendants to clear this meeting room unless I have the cooperation of the people here. This is not staged for your amusement. Please remember that and refrain from outbursts of any kind. I'm sorry, Mr. Verdall.
It would seem to me that if that many checks, at least during that period, I mean to say that you must have been making a lot of money. Wouldn't you think so, Mr. Mason?
Well, now I have an in-law in the laundry business right here in the city. I don't know the exact address, but what I want to point out is...
Mr. Mason...
May I continue? I got the floor.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, what I want to point out is, he told me, my in-law, he told me that somebody, he don't even gamble, he was in Miami, you know, and somebody come to visit him. I don't think he ever got a parking ticket in his whole life, not even one. No, he's a fine, honorable man. But what did he do? Well, he took his guests out to eat, and he cashed a check in one of those gaming houses there because he discovered he didn't have his wallet on him in order to pay the bill, pay the tabs for what his crowd, what they all eat, you see?
Yes, but what is that?
Well, they know him at the place. They know who he was. But he had to cash the check in, of all places, a gaming house. So you see? And the character don't even gamble.
Well, Mr. Mason, if this is going to be your attitude throughout
Well,
this...
listen, only too glad
if it is,
I'm on the stand sworn
really
in.
Small
and even if it hurts, I got to tell the truth. None of that tending to incriminate malarkey. Instead what?
Instead, Mr. Chairman, I should like to have placed the tape recording introduced earlier as evidence. And I'm confident that it will speak for itself and make clear what Mr. Mason is so obviously attempting to hide.
Exactly what is this recording?
Conversations fully pertinent to the issue here. Conversations between Mr. Mason and his partner, ex-partner, Sal Leviton.
The chair has no objection. I'm assuming the conversations did not take place over the telephone?
That is correct.
Chair has no objection. Does Mr. Mason object?
Well, certainly not. I got nothing to hide. Go right ahead. Don't mind me.
Well, thank you. All right, Harry. Now, this first voice is that of Mr. Mason. Wait a minute, Harry. Did you start in the right minute? Well, here, let me. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. We'll begin again. This does it, Harry.
All right now?
All right, sir. Mr. Mason's voice.
What's wrong there, Mr. Verdall?
Well, I don't quite know. It was playing perfectly. Something is wrong, sir. I don't quite know what it is.
Yes, gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening. We're looking for a man named Davies, James Davies, or he might be using the name Monroe. My credentials.
Why, yes, we have a Mr. James Davies in 1012, but I'm not at all certain that he's in just now. Would you like me to check?
Would you do that, please?
Certainly, if he's in.
We'll see him now. If he isn't in, we'll see he gets a warm reception as soon as he gets back.
Did you see that DA's face when he came up with the 00? Honest, I thought I'd split a gut.
You and me both. And then when the chairman calls for help, and the repair guy says, the tape's a blank.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was really beautiful.
Well, thank you, man.
Telling you, tears come down my cheeks. So help me, tears. First, he should have gone in for the stage. I mean it.
Yeah, my hat's off to you, Davies. You really come up with the brass ring. Here I go in expecting the axe, and I walk out with all the marbles. Yeah, and no fooling. The look on that DA's puss was worth the price of admission alone. Hey, Perry, how's about another one of these? Straight.
Well, I'm very glad you're satisfied, Mr. Mason.
Satisfied?
I like to leave my clients happy. And by the way, sir, speaking of the price of admission.
Yeah. Here you are. All tucked away in this envelope, ready and waiting for you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's the matter? You don't trust me?
Oh, sir, now, really?
Well, how do you like that? He don't trust me. How do you like that?
I don't.
Huh?
Hey, Ace. Straight.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't?
Just that.
First guy I know don't like the General Washington.
Oh, I like 'em fine, only not 15,000 of 'em.
What's the matter? They counterfeit or something?
Not counterfeit, Perry. They're just 35,000 short.
That's so?
Our arrangement was for 50,000, Mr. Mason. Apparently, there's been an oversight, so if you'll just...
Davies.
Yes?
No oversight.
No?
No. I talked this out with myself real careful. I decided 15 was the right figure. I decided the tape's erased. What can you do?
I see. You decided. And you, Elizabeth, do you think 15,000 is right?
I know one thing. Offer me 15, that's all.
Perry, what about you?
He's with me.
That right, Perry? You with him?
Well, 15 is still a lot of cash, Fancy.
Yes.
Take the 15, Davies.
Very well.
You'll take it?
I will.
No hard feelings? You're not sore?
Oh, on the contrary, you've done me a great favor, sir.
Yeah?
Here I was suffering the most violent feelings of guilt, and all the time...
Guilt about what? What are you talking about?
Well, how would you feel, sir? If they caught up with you and to save some of your skin, you agreed to cooperate by turning in your friends.
Mace, I'm not sure I know what he said, but I'm sure I don't like it.
Knock off. Who caught up? What are you talking about?
Bet I know.
I said knock off, the both of you. Davies.
They. That's who. They caught up. The FBI.
I'm getting out of here. Harry. He's got it up his sleeve, Mace. I know the guy.
Davies, if that noggin of yours is spinning overtime, forget it. Well, that's a piece of warning.
Too late.
Don't say that.
It's never too late.
It is now. Every word you've said is immortally inscribed on tape, sir. Microphone right here under my jacket. The FBI right outside that door.
What?
Bluff. Easy to find out.
All right. Harry, open the door.
Me?
You.
What if he means?
Open the door.
Uh-huh. Is anybody there? Nobody's out there.
Open it!
Me?
Yeah, you.
Uh-huh. There's somebody out there. FBI?
That's right.
This way, gentlemen. Take him away.
Why, you low skunk Davies, you really did it.
I really did, didn't I?
Of all the rotten, crummy stunts that I ever heard.
Mason. Come on, let's go.
Just a minute, just a minute.
What for?
He's got something belongs to me. 15,000 in cash.
The man's obviously deluded. I've been paid for services rendered.
Let's have the 15, Davies. It's all on tape. Let's have it. Ready, Mason?
You know something, Fancy? I'm surprised at you. I'm really surprised. Turning in your best friend, practically.
I'm sorry, Perry.
Brother, you don't know how sorry. Not till we meet up again, you don't know.
Mason?
And you too, Perry. All brain. Gray matter. Right out of Lady Luck.
I'm telling you, can I help it? I'm a mind reader or something, maybe?
Stow it. Okay, Badge Happy. I'm ready.
Profiting from past experience, the United States Attorney took no chances in prosecuting James Monroe Davies. Tried separately, he was convicted as charged and sentenced to a 10-year term in the penitentiary at Atlanta. In consideration of his aid in the apprehension of Mason and Perry Beamer, however, this was subsequently reduced by 4 years. Mason and Beamer pled guilty to the conspiracy charge and are currently serving out terms totaling 17 years. All in all, it was a black day for gray matter.
In tonight's story, Paul McGrath played the part of Fancy Davies, and Walter Grisey was Mace. This radio dramatization for the FBI in Peace and War was written by Jack Anson Fink. These programs are produced and directed by Betty Mandeville. All names and characters used on the program are fictitious. Any similarity to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. This program is based upon Frederick L. Collins' copyrighted book, The FBI in Peace and War, and the broadcast does not imply endorsement, authorization, or approval by the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
We pause now for station identification.
70 years ago, June 1st, 1955, the FBI in Peace and War on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Visit our webpage at classicradio.stream to support the podcast. Coming up next, we'll have an episode of The Hall of Fantasy.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you ever wondered what people abroad think of us? Many of them don't have a very high opinion of our country or our way of life. It's not because of anything we've done or haven't done. It's what they think we have or haven't done. Unfortunately, those thoughts were planted in their minds by books and other literature distributed in both free and Iron Curtain countries by the communists. This material has been deliberately slanted to create false impressions of America and Americans. But the people who read them are hungry for the truth. Somewhere on your bookshelves or in your attic, you must have books you're through with. By contributing them to Books from America, you can help send the truth about America to readers and students abroad. Particularly helpful are good standard American novels, up-to-date histories and geographies, as well as English grammars. If they're in good condition, with hard covers, pack them up and send them to Books from America, Box 1960, Washington 13, D.C. That address again is Books from America, Box 1960, Washington 13, D.C.
Now we go back 72 years, June 1st, 1953, The Hall of Fantasy. This episode based on the Edgar Allan Poe horror classic, The Telltale Heart.
And now, The Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the Hall of Fantasy. Welcome to the series of radio dramas dedicated to the supernatural, the unusual, and the unknown. Come with me, my friends. We shall descend to the world of the unknown and forbidden, down to the depths where the veil of time is lifted, and the supernatural reigns as king. Come with me and listen to the tale of The Telltale Heart.
I had nothing against the man. I didn't want his money. And those who say I did are crazy. He was always agreeable and liked me. But there was one thing about him that bothered me. That eye of his. That pale blue vulture eye.
Why did you do it?
That voice. It's always with me. It's always with me.
Why did you do it? Why did you do it?
Listen. Can't you hear it? Slow, rhythmic beating. It's with me. It follows me wherever I go. The pounding of his heart. The pounding, beating rhythm of the telltale heart. Be quiet! Be quiet! Be quiet!
In just a moment, the Hall of Fantasy will present The Telltale Heart. And now for our story. Adapted for radio by Richard Thorne, entitled The Telltale Heart.
Yes?
There was an advertisement in the paper. I'm here to answer it.
I see. Won't you come in, please?
Yes, thank you. Are you the one I'm supposed to see?
No, I'm Mrs. Gorman, the housekeeper. Mr. Lawrence, the old gentleman, he's the one you're to see. You'll just wait here. I'll tell him you're here.
Yes, thank you, of course.
Mr. Lawrence,
Yes?
someone here in answer to the advertisement you placed in the paper.
Send him in, Mrs. Gorman.
Sir, Mr. Lawrence will see you now.
Thank you.
He's over by the desk, sir.
Yes, ma'am, I see him. Thank you.
You come in answer to the advertisement in the paper?
Yes, sir.
You care to sit down?
No, I'll stand, thank you.
What's your name?
Crowther. David Crowther.
Aside from my housekeeper, Mr. Crowther, I live here by myself. I feel the need of a companion. Someone to whom I can talk. Mrs. Gorman is a housekeeper. She doesn't talk very much. Very competent person, but very uncommunicative. You have references, I suppose?
No, Mr. Lawrence, I haven't.
Oh. What work have you been doing?
I'll be completely honest with you, Mr. Lawrence. I haven't been working for the past year. I was only released from the hospital 2 weeks ago.
I noticed you looked rather pale. Are you well now?
Oh, yes. I've completely recovered.
Well, you don't have references. I don't know.
Please, Mr. Lawrence. I need employment. My money is all gone, and I must work in order to live.
I see. What about your family?
I have no family.
No other attachments?
No, sir.
I'm going to take a chance on you, Mr. Crowther.
Thank you,
Of
sir.
course, your salary won't be too large. But you'll have a roof over your head and plenty of food to eat. When can you start?
Tonight, if you like, Mr. Lawrence.
Excellent. You know, Mr. Crowther, David, if I may call you that.
Yes, sir.
I have the feeling that we're going to get along quite well together.
I was with him for several months. I don't know when the idea first entered my mind, but once it was there, it haunted me day and night. It enveloped my brain with its cunning. I had nothing against the man. He was always agreeable and liked me. But there was one thing about him that bothered me. That eye of his.
One day I asked the housekeeper about it. Mrs. Gorman,
Yes, David?
the old gentleman, one of his eyes, is there anything wrong with it?
What? I don't think so, David. I hadn't noticed.
To me, one of his eyes resembles that of a vulture. Pale blue it is, with a cloudy film covering it. It didn't bother me at first, and, well, in fact, it doesn't bother me now unless he looks at me, but...
Unless he looks at you? Why?
Well, every time he looks at me, my blood runs cold. That pale blue vulture eye...
I think you're imagining things, David.
Yes, Mrs. Gorman. Perhaps I am imagining things. You won't say anything about it to Mr. Lawrence, will you?
Of course not, David.
I don't know what came over me. Of course, there's nothing wrong with the old gentleman, nothing at all. Yes, but there was. That eye of his. That pale blue vulture eye. Little by little, I began to hate him with all my heart. One evening, a few weeks later, the old man and I sat in the living room. We had just finished dinner and were talking, as we usually did. Just as you say, Mr. Lawrence, we'll have to wait and, well, what are you looking at?
What, David?
Are you staring at me?
No, of course not.
Yes, you are. Don't look at me like that.
I'm not looking.
Don't look at me. Turn it away. Turn it away. Turn your eye away.
David, what's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. Only your eye. It's like a vulture's. A few days passed, and I guess he thought I had forgotten about his eye. But I hadn't. No, I hadn't. And every night about midnight, I'd get out of bed, creep from my room to his. I'd unlatch the door and open it. And then, after it was opened wide enough to stick my head through, I would put in a covered lantern, all closed, so that no light would shine forth. And after I had my head in the room, I would undo the lantern so that only a single ray of light darted out. And I would shine it on his face to see if his eye were open. But no, it never was. Not then. I found the eye always closed. And you see, that made it impossible to do my work. For it wasn't the old man that bothered me, but his eye. His evil eye. And unless his eye were open, I couldn't do it. But I knew that one night it would happen. Yes, it would open, and then I could do it. Then I could kill him.
Back now to our story, adapted especially for radio by Richard Thorne, entitled The Telltale Heart.
And so I waited. I went out of my way to make him comfortable. I made sure that I never mentioned anything about his eye to him. And every morning I would go into his chamber boldly and ask him, "Well, Mr. Lawrence, did you sleep well last night?"
Why, yes, David, I did.
You didn't hear anything? Any noises?
No, not a one.
I'm glad of that.
Why? Did you hear anything?
No, not a thing.
And why did you ask me if I had?
Oh, I was just asking, Mr. Lawrence. I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure. And he thought everything was all right. He was a fool, just like all the others. Well, how could he know? Yes, how could he know that every night on the stroke of 12, I looked in upon him as he slept?
You know, David, I didn't sleep very well last night.
You didn't, Mr. Lawrence?
No, I had a bad dream.
Oh? What did you dream about?
I dreamt that someone was looking in at me while I slept. Just waiting for a chance to kill me.
Well, that's just a dream, Mr. Lawrence. Nothing to worry about, you know that.
Yes,
I guess it was just a dream.
Because the only people here are Mrs. Gorman, myself, and neither one of us would hurt you. You know that, don't you, Mr. Lawrence?
Yes. I'm glad you're both with me, David. Just the same, I can't seem to get rid of that feeling. It frightens me.
Don't worry about a thing, Mr. Lawrence. No, don't worry. I'll take care of you. On the 8th and last night, I took special pains to make sure he wouldn't hear me. A watch's minute hand moved more quickly than did mine. I crept out into the hallway, made my way to his door. His room was all black. Black as coal, black as midnight. I think he heard me, but I knew he couldn't see a thing. The room was too dark for that. I was almost in the room and about to open my lantern when my thumb slipped upon the tin fastening, and the old man was immediately fully awake. He sat upright in bed and whispered,
Who's there? I said, who's there?
I kept still. I didn't say a thing. No, not a thing. And for what seemed like an hour, I stood there and didn't move a muscle. I knew he wouldn't lie down. He was sitting up in his bed, listening for what it was that had made the noise. The old man was in mortal fear. When I had waited a long time and still had not heard him lie back upon his bed, I resolved to open my lantern a little. Yes, just a little, just the tiniest bit. And presently, the tiniest bit of light struggled out. I directed it towards him like the thread of a spider. And finally it came to rest upon his vulture eye. And then I seemed to hear something. I didn't know what it was. I couldn't distinguish it at first, and I racked my mind to think of what it was. And then finally it came to me. Yes, that was it. It was the beating of the old man's heart.
Who's in here?
I could hear it distinctly. He was so afraid. Beat, 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 beat. It went. I could feel its rhythm. The old man was in mortal terror. But I held the lantern motionless. I tried to keep the beam of the light focused on that terrible eye, that pale blue vulture's eye. The incessant drumbeat of his heart increased. It grew quicker and quicker. Beat, beat, beat. Louder, louder every moment. The old man's terror must have been extreme. And then I thought of something else. The sound of his heart was so loud it might be heard by someone else, by Mrs. Gorman, by some prying neighbor. And I couldn't allow that, could I? No. And the beating grew louder and louder and louder until I could stand it no longer.
Who's there?
Don't be afraid, old man.
Is that you, David?
Yes, that's right. It's only me. Nothing to be afraid of.
What are you doing in my room?
Just watching over you, Mr. Lawrence.
I thought it was someone else.
You have nothing to fear from me, old man.
You should be asleep.
Oh, I'll go to sleep. And so will you, old man. So will you.
David, what's wrong with you?
Nothing. Nothing, old man. Nothing at all.
Don't come any closer, Jimmy. Stay away from me.
Die, old man! Die! Let your heart die with you.
Go.
Die! Die! Close your eye, that vulture eye! Close it forever! I stood there in the darkness, looking down upon him. He was quiet now. Strange kind of stillness was upon him. For he was dead. His eye would trouble me no longer, and I knew that I had to dispose of the body. And I racked my brain to think of a place, and then it came to me. Yes, I pulled 3 boards from the floor. I had to work quickly. The blackness of night was fast changing to gray. I placed his body under the flooring very neatly, and then I boarded it up again. I did it so well that even I could hardly recognize the spot under which the body was hidden. Yes, his room looked as if nothing had happened. The striking of the town clock made me realize how late it was. Well, the job was over, and no one would ever be the wiser. Who's there?
Mrs. Gorman.
Just a moment. Yes, what is it?
Where's Mr. Lawrence?
He's not here.
Not here.
No, he went out to the country late this evening.
I heard something up here.
Such as?
A scream.
No one screamed, Mrs. Gorman.
I guess I was mistaken. I'll have to send them back then.
Who?
I was afraid when I woke up I heard, or I thought I heard a scream.
You didn't hear a thing. Mr. Lawrence has been gone for some time.
What are you doing up here?
I wanted to make sure he hadn't forgotten anything. What you probably heard, Mrs. Gorman, was the neigh of the horse as the carriage carried Mr. Lawrence away.
Then I must tell him to go.
Who? Who's downstairs? Who is it?
Well, I was frightened. I called the police. Huh. They're waiting for you downstairs. For both you and Mr. Lawrence.
Back now to our story, adapted especially for radio by Richard Thorne, entitled The Telltale Heart.
I was so sure that no one had heard anything. But Mrs. Gorman, the housekeeper, she must have heard him scream. Or did she hear the beating of the old man's heart? I went downstairs with her.
Here's Mr. Crowther, officer.
Thank you.
Will you be needing me anymore?
No, I don't think so.
Good night, then.
Well, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
You'll have to pardon us, sir, for disturbing you. We received a complaint from your housekeeper about some strange noises she heard.
Oh, she must be mistaken, officer. Nothing's happened here.
The housekeeper said she heard a scream from upstairs.
Oh, she must have been dreaming.
Perhaps. But I hope you'll excuse us, sir, if we take a look through the house.
Why, certainly, officer. I have nothing to hide. Well, where do you want to start, gentlemen?
If you'll just show us around.
With pleasure. Just follow me. I led them from room to room. I took them all over the house. I wanted to show them I had nothing to hide. I showed them every nook and cranny in the place except the old man's room. I wanted to save that till last.
Don't you think this is enough?
Finally, I took them into his room, and though they searched exhaustively, they found nothing. I was quite pleased with myself.
That housekeeper of yours must have imagined she heard a scream from up here. Probably just a nightmare.
Well, perhaps what she heard was me. Yes, I had a nightmare, and I think I might have been the one she heard.
Well, there you are. That's a simple explanation of it.
Yeah, I often have nightmares. You know.
We ought to go to her room and tell your housekeeper. Don't worry about it, Tom. It wasn't her fault.
Yes. Well, as a matter of fact, how would she know who made the noise?
She said there was a Mr. Lawrence living here, too.
Oh, yes.
Where is he now?
Oh, he isn't here.
Well, that's evident. But where is he?
Well, he went out to the country for a few weeks. He left tonight.
I see. Sorry to have troubled you, sir.
No trouble at all, officer.
Well, let's get out of here, Ed. We're keeping this gentleman out.
If you gentlemen won't think it presumptuous, won't you have a glass of wine with me? I know how it is after you've been up all night.
Oh, I don't know, sir. We're not supposed to drink while we're on duty. Ah, but Ed, we're almost through. Let's have a glass of wine. When we finish here, we can go home.
Yes, do have some wine.
All right, it's a pleasure.
All right, I'll get it for you. And Mr. Lawrence always kept a decanter and glasses on that table.
Did you say kept, sir?
A slip of the tongue, officer. The hour is late, you know.
Don't mind Ed, Mr. Crowther. He's suspicious of everybody.
Yes, of course. Well, that's your job. Well, here we are. I hope you like sherry.
Mm-hmm. Always have it at home.
Good. Glad to hear that. Well, here's yours, sir.
Thank you.
And yours.
Thanks.
There. Now, shall we drink to something, gentlemen?
Well, let's drink to you, sir, as a sort of apology for interrupting your sleep.
Yes. That's very good, you know. You did interrupt me. I wanted to show off. I had seated them in the old man's room. And after all, in a way, this was a celebration, a token of my ingenuity. I'd seated myself on top of the very spot under which I'd hidden the body. We had one glass of wine, then another, and another. We were talking quite freely when I heard it.
Won't you gentlemen have enough...
What's that?
What's what, sir?
That noise. That beating.
I don't hear anything. Anything wrong, Mr. Crowther?
No, nothing. Nothing's wrong. Have some more wine. I wish they'd leave. They were getting on my nerves. I had a terrible headache, and I seemed to hear a beating in my ears. They began to look at me queerly. And yet that sound increased. There was nothing I could do about it. It was a low, dull, quick sound. Like the beating of a drum. Where had I heard that sound before? They watched me closely. I paced the floor. I didn't know where the sound was coming from. Beat, beat, beat. Throb, beat, throb, throb. Where had I heard that sound before? I knew they suspected. Who wouldn't, with that incessant beating that filled the room, that seemed to make the very walls shake with its monotonous beat, that rhythm? Where had I heard it before? Where had I? I knew where I'd heard it before. Beat, throb, beat, throb, beat, beat, beat. Yes, I knew where I'd heard it before. It was the beating of the old man's heart.
What's the matter, Mr. Crowther?
Can't you hear it?
Hear what, sir?
Perhaps I can push it out.
What's the matter with you? What are you trying to do?
Stop it from beating.
Stop what, sir?
Get out of here. Both of you. Get out of here.
But you...
Get out of here. Can't you hear it? Can't you? I can stifle his heart, that throbbing heart. Can't you hear the throbbing? Can't you hear it?
The only thing we hear is you, Mr. Crowther.
I can't stand it. I can't. That continuous pounding will never stop till I tell you the truth.
The truth about what?
About the old man, about Florence. I did it.
What did you do?
I killed him. Under the floor. His body is under the floor, and they stopped that beating. Stop the beating of his telltale heart.
Why did you do it?
That voice. It's always with me. Always with me.
Why did you do it? Why did you do it?
Listen. Did you hear it? Slow, rhythmic beating. 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 It's with me. It follows me wherever I go. The pounding of his heart. The pounding, the beating rhythm of his telltale heart. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet.
So runs tonight's tale of the unusual, the terrifying, the unknown. Join us again when next we journey down the corridors of the Hall of Fantasy to hear another strange tale of the supernatural. All characters and events portrayed in these programs are fictional, and any similarity to actual events or persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental.
72 years ago, June 1st, 1953, the Hall of Fantasy, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Let's head to Pine Ridge, Arkansas following these messages, and we find out what's going on in the world of Lum and Abner and the publishing business.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're of teenage or up, a loyal American, male or female, your country needs you in the Civilian Ground Observer Corps. You've heard the radio broadcasts, seen the television pictures. You know the facts. You know what a single H-bomb dropped in any metropolitan area could do. And today's long-range bombers have made intercontinental war possible. Enemy planes based on the other side of the world could reach the United States in a matter of hours. Radar can help detect them, but there are dangerous gaps through which low-flying planes can penetrate without detection. To fill out our detection system, civilian personnel is needed, particularly along the east and west coasts and in the northern states. Sky watching is not a game, it's a necessary precaution. The Ground Observer Corps is now operating on a 24-hour-a-day basis and needs at least 200,000 volunteers to contribute a few hours of their spare time to this vital work. Will you volunteer? Get in touch with your local Civilian Defense Center at once.
Let's wrap up this Sunday edition of the podcast with an episode of Blum and Abner as we go back and see what's going on with the Eddards and Eddards Publishing Company as it was originally broadcast 83 years ago, June 1st, 1942.
The makers of Alka-Seltzer bring you Blum and Abner. Say, folks, did you happen to hear our friend Lum use that old saying the other day, a word to the wise is sufficient? Well, we'd like to make a slight change in that old adage and say 2 words to the wise are sufficient. And those 2 words, as far as Alka-Seltzer is concerned, are try it. Yes, try it. Take Alka-Seltzer the very next time a touch of acid indigestion comes along to annoy you, and see for yourself how much comfort its twofold relief-giving action can give you. That one trial should convince you far more than I can how much better Alka-Seltzer can make you feel. Now, of course, there's a sound scientific reason for Alka-Seltzer's effectiveness, but you're interested in results. And that's why you should take these effervescent tablets for relief in acid indigestion and other minor stomach upsets, such as sour stomach, occasional distress after meals, and heartburn. So try it and see for yourself. Why, everywhere you go, you find folks who enjoy the comfort Alka-Seltzer offers. You can get it at any drugstore, either by the package or by the glass at the soda fountain. And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, the mysterious case of Evelyn Ermintrude was finally solved when the phantom author revealed himself to be Mousy Gray, or rather his wife Gussie, with Mousy merely the front man. The case of Lum and Abner's bill from the wholesale house has also been solved, since the old fellow scraped together enough money to cover it. As we look in on the little community today, we find that Lum has just returned from a trip to the county seat to pay that bill. Abner is looking at some packages Lum brought back with him. Listen.
Well, what's in these packages, Lum? Presents?
No, just some things I picked up at the printing shop at the county seat.
Oh.
I went over there after I got done paying that bill to the wholesale house.
You did, huh? Well, was the wholesale house glad to get that money?
I don't know. They never acted much like it.
they never.
That little bald-headed feller that wears the spectacles taking the money and never hardly said nothing.
Well, I do know.
Acted just like we owed him that money.
Well, we did owe it to him, didn't we, Lum?
Yeah, that's right, ain't it?
Yeah, we owed him, yeah.
Well, anyways, I never liked his altitude. From now on, all the business we do at that outfit's going to be done on a cash base. I grannies will show 'em.
Yeah, well, I believe that's what they said, Lum, in that letter we got from 'em the other day. Said cash base with 'em.
Next time, I'll take the money in there and pay it to 'em before we even order anything.
Yeah.
Throw it right in that little feller's face.
Yeah, it's a time. Good for you.
Might throw some of it on the floor, too.
On the floor, huh?
Yeah, make him stoop over and pick it up.
Oh, that'll make him mad. Oh, wait a minute, though. Where are we going to get all this money, Lum?
Oh, don't worry. We'll get it.
We will, huh?
Yeah, I got something here that's going to help with our finances, Abner.
Well,
We're branching out, you know it?
branching out.
Taking on a sideline.
Well, good for us. Wonderful.
I stopped in at this printing shop to get some pointers on what kind of books they've been publishing lately and all that. And you know what they told me?
No.
They said they never publish no books at all.
They don't?
No, sir. They said just the big publishing houses in the East done that.
Well, I do know. Well, how do they make their money then? They got to make money to stay open.
Oh, they print up stuff for stores and pamphlets and bulletins for churches and greeting cards. They do an awful lot of greeting cards.
Greeting cards?
Yeah, you know, like happy birthday to brother dear and Mother's Day's cards and congratulations on wedding anniversaries and new babies and graduation from high school.
Babies graduating from high school?
No, them two different cards.
Oh,
Here,
I was wondering.
look at these. I got a whole batch of samples from the printing shop.
Yeah. Let me look at them. Let me take a look at them.
We can pattern the ones that I'm going to print up after these.
Uh-huh. Doggy, these look pretty good, you know
Ain't that
what?
pretty, them flowers on there?
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty in there. That little blue ribbon on there, that makes it look awful pretty. Look here, this little envelope comes out here. Yeah, there's a little book of some kind in here. Let's see. Oh, for the land sakes. Looky here.
What's the matter?
Look at that stork there. See there? With that young'un
Oh,
in his
yeah, that's
mouth
for
there?
babies.
Yeah. Here's wishing lots of health and joy to a brand new bouncing baby boy. Well, yeah.
Reckon why they always call them bouncing baby boys.
I don't know. I've wondered about that. I saw folks drap 'em, but I never did see one bounce. They just sort of lay there.
Don't know what they want to send a baby a card for, no way. They
No.
can't read yet.
No, save it for
There's a good one there on Father's Day. Sort of a joshing card. You see that?
Yeah, what does it say?
Oh, I don't recollect. Go ahead and read it.
Is there any Christmas cards in there? That's what I love. I love Christmas cards.
No, I never got none of them. Wasn't nobody to sell them to around here.
Well, why wouldn't it be, Long?
Because everybody in town sells them. Leastways, every woman in town does, and might not half the young'un.
Yeah, generally there's a bunch selling them over.
Yeah, right around Christmas time, they pester the life out of you.
Yeah.
Trying to sell Christmas cards in Pine Ridge is just like carrying coals to Newcastle.
Yeah. Well, I reckon you're right now that I think about it. I don't guess what... Huh?
What do you mean, huh?
Huh, what did you say about carrying coal?
Oh, I said carrying coal to Newcastle. You heard that before.
Why, no. This is the first time you mentioned it. Whereabouts is Newcastle?
I don't know. It's a town, Summers.
Summers? Well, we better be finding out where it's at if we're going to start making delivers over there.
Making delivers over there?
Yeah, I hope it ain't very far from here, Lum, 'cause I don't believe that truck of ours is strong enough to haul coal very far. And then another thing about the gas rationing and you got to save on rubber tires and all such as that. We better not be trying to put in no delivers way over someplace,
For
Lum.
goodness sakes,
Whereabouts we going to get that coal from it we're going to haul? Did you order some when you was in the county seat this morning?
No, of course not. I never ordered no coal there or no place else.
Well, how we going to get it then? We ain't got over 2 or 3 buckets full.
Abner, ain't you never heard that old Eddard saying about carrying coal to Newcastle?
Huh?
You see, Newcastle is a place where there's a whole lot of coal mines, so they got all the coal they want there.
Well, why in the world are we hauling coal over there for then? We won't be able to sell none over there if they got all they want, Long.
Of course not. That's the whole idea of the saying.
Well, I believe we'd do a heap more business if we'd go to Newcastle and haul the coal back here. We can sell coal around here. Oh, is that what you meant in the first place? You just get it backwards?
No, it ain't. I said what I meant, but I just...
Well, now, if you got your mind made up that it's a good sideline, why, I'll go in with you on it, Lum, but well, I just don't think we'd be able to sell any coal in a place like that, unless we cut our price way down. And we can't make no money that way, Lum, if we got to cut our price.
I never meant this was to be a sideline.
You mean we're quitting the store and going into the coal business for good?
No, we ain't quitting the store.
Oh, well, that's good. Doggies, you had me worried for a minute there.
Look, Abner, let's get this straight once and for all. All I said was that we wasn't going to sell Christmas cards in Pine Ridge, because that'd be like that old lettered saying that goes like this. Coals to Newcastle, owls to Athens, pepper to...
Owls to Athens?
Something tells me I oughtn't to have said that.
You mean over in Tennessee?
Tennessee?
Yeah, there's a town over there named Athens. Some of Mo's moots relates moved over about 9 years ago. Don't you recollect Moses' brother that lived here and moved long?
Yeah, I recollect
That's
that,
where he moved, yeah.
I believe this must be some other Athens.
Well, it might be, I don't know. But that's the only one I know of. Mo said it was in the east part of the state there, I believe. Or now maybe he said the west part. I just don't recollect. Maybe here, I better call Mo's up, make sure about that.
No, don't bother. Never mind. It don't matter which part of the state it's in.
Well, no, I reckon not. We can ask somebody when we get there, I reckon. Reckon what they want all them owls for?
I don't know.
Are they starting up a owl farm or something?
No, they don't want no owls, Abner.
They don't?
Of course not.
Doggies, Lum, I don't think I'm for this new sideline you studied up. All your talk there, as near as I can figure it out, we get in our truck and we haul a load of coal to some folks that don't need any. Then we drive on to Tennessee with a batch of owls for folks that don't want any.
I don't know why I put up with this day in and day out.
Well, now, maybe you just got that turned around, Lump. Maybe the owls was supposed to go to them folks in Newcastle.
No,
and the
I
coal
never
was...
got it turned around, Abner.
Huh?
The sideline I was talking about was greeting cards.
For owls?
No, that's what we're going to sell. All kinds of greeting cards, except Christmas cards.
Oh, I see.
That's what I brung them samples for.
Yeah. You know, Lum, I bound you we could sell them cards to folks right here in Pine Ridge, Joe.
Of course we could. That's what I'm aiming on doing.
Well, what are we going clean over to Tennessee for?
Oh, for goodness sakes.
Well, now, why are we?
You figure that out for yourself, Abner. I ain't got a single answer left in me.
Well, now, come on now. Tell me, Lum, I want to know if I'm going in with you on this deal. Are you mad 'cause I said I weren't in favor of the owl business?
No, I ain't mad, Abner. I'm just trying to keep from going stark, raving, mad, crazy.
Well?
You watch the store for a while, Abner. I'll be back later
Yeah,
on.
well, now, wait a minute. Where are you going, Lum?
I don't know, someplace.
Well, now, where?
I'm going to go out and get measured for a straitjacket.
Huh, well, I do know. Huh, Jackie. Doggies. Must be getting ready for that trip, I reckon. Well, I reckon I better call Elizabeth. Oh, I wish Lum never had his heart set on this. All of getting these crazy ideas in his head, and ain't nothing that'll get him out. Wants to go in the owl business. Hello? Pearl? Is your mama there, honey? Ask her to step to the telephone. All right.
Howdy, Mr. Abner.
Hello, Abner.
Oh,
Well, howdy.
Excuse us, we never seen you on the phone.
Yeah, that's all right. Just a minute, Cedric. Wait a minute. Hello? Elizabeth? Well, I can't talk to you now, Elizabeth, 'cause Mousie and Cedric just come in, and I got something important to talk to them about.
Something important, boy.
Yeah, well, I'll just have to call you later. I'm sorry I bothered you. Well, I wanted to tell you, though, I want you to get my Sunday suit and iron it for me. Well, I'm sort of aiming on making a trip here in a couple of days. Well, I'll tell you about it later now. All right, Elizabeth. Hey, goodbye, honey.
What's there so important that you want to talk to me about, Mr.
Well,
Abner?
now, before we get into that, Abner, we want to see Lum. You see, Cedric and I have just written a new book that we want him to publish.
Yes, Mom, both of us wrote it.
Well, I don't know, Mousie, but I think Lum's giving up that business. Fact is, we're going into a new business. I ain't for it, but Lum's got his heart set on it, so I reckon that's a thing to do. Doggies, wait a minute. You fellers can help us, too.
Boy, I hope we can make a lot of money out of it.
Yeah, Well, you might not get rich off of it right at first, Cedric, but later on I know you can. Mousie, are you still friendly with that hoot owl?
Yes, sir. Every night I'm out after dark. I always exchange hoots with him.
Well, do you think you could catch him?
Catch him?
I bound you I could. I've caught lots of owls.
Well, good for you, Cedric. Now, here, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pay you fellers 25 cents for every owl you catch.
2 bits apiece?
Yes, sir.
Well, will you sure enough?
Why, sure I will. So now, you fellers go out tonight and bring all the owls you can find into the store here tomorrow, and I'll pay you cash for 'em. I doggers will surprise old
Poor Abner. He really keeps busy trying to make Lum happy, doesn't he? And folks, if these are really busy days for you, be wise and be prepared. Always keep a package of friendly, dependable Alka-Seltzer tablets on the job with you. Then if a headache, a touch of acid indigestion, a sour upset stomach, or muscular aches and pains threaten to slow you down, you can help yourself to pleasant, fast, effective relief for your discomfort. Thousands of other busy, on-the-go Americans have found that it really pays to keep Alka-Seltzer at their place of work as well as at home. And we believe you will, too. So get a package of these modern, effervescent tablets from your druggist tonight or on your way to work tomorrow, and many's the time you may be glad you did.
I would think that Lum would want to have a big bottle of Alka-Seltzer just in case, given how he deals with Abner. 83 years ago today, June 1st, 1942, Lum and Abner here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Join us tomorrow for a comedy. Marie Wilson and my friend Irma. Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis will also look at the news from that date in 1953. Fibber McGee and Molly, You Bet Your Life with Groucho Marx, and Lum and Abner and the Owls. That's all coming up on tomorrow's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox podcast. Visit our webpage, would you please? That is at classicradio.stream. We'll see you tomorrow for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.